Hello. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Myself, Dr. Sanjay Gowri, Head and Assistant Professor in Department of Physics, Dr. Ambedkar College, Chandrapur. Today, I am going to deliver a lecture on Huygens principle and interference of light. So, today's my presentation includes introduction of wavefront that you have seen in the previous period. Then, I will discuss about the Huygens principle of propagation of light. Then I will discuss about the principle of superposition of waves. Later on, interference of light I will discuss, and lastly I will explain the what are the different types of the interference of light. First of all, we see the introduction of the wavefront. In the last period, I have told you that about the wavefront. So, what is the wavefront? Do you know the wavefront? The wavefront is a locus of equidistant point from the source of light. Whatever be the source of light is there, and if we take the equidistant locus of equidistant point, then that will be the spherical. If the point source is there, then there will be the spherical surface is the locus of equidistant point, and that spherical surface we call it as a spherical wavefront. Okay. So we know that there are three types of the wavefronts: spherical wavefront, plane wavefront, and the cylindrical wavefront. So for to have the spherical wavefront, the distance between the point source of light and the wavefront must be the finite, or this distance must be the fixed. Okay. Then we get this spherical wavefront. If suppose the distance between the source of light, point source of light, and the wavefront is the infinite, is the very large, then in that case we get the plane wavefront, and uh, then there is a cylindrical wavefront. So if instead of using a point source of light, if we use the extended source of light or a linear source of light, just like a tube light, I have given the example in the previous period. If we consider a tube light, then tube light is nothing but a series of point sources of light. This tube light is made up of large number of point sources of light which are arranged linearly. And if we consider the locus of equidistant point of that linear source of light, then that will be looking like a cylinder. And if we that cylinder is nothing but the cylindrical wavefront. Okay. So that we have seen all these about the wavefront in the previous period. So today we are going to study the Huygens principle of propagation of light. So I have shown here the one wavefront, which is the spherical wavefront. So these red color lines are nothing but the spherical wavefront. Okay, and this S is nothing but the source of light, and this source of light is the point source of light. Okay, point source of size of that source of light is the just like a point, and therefore that is the point source of light, and this point source of light will emit the light waves in all possible directions, and these light waves will travel in the form of the spherical wavefront. So these are the red color spherical curve are nothing but the spherical wavefront at different times. Okay. So to explain the propagation of waves, Huygens proposed the principle which is as follows. So according to the Huygens principle, every point on a wavefront acts as a secondary source of light, sending the secondary wavelets in all possible directions. Now here we will consider the one spherical wavefront. So suppose this red color last spherical wavefront we will consider. So according to the Huygens, every point on the wavefront will act as a secondary source of light, and these secondary sources of light will emit the light waves in all possible directions. But here the secondary wavelets which are originated in the uh, backward direction are not effective. Only the spherical wavefront which are propagating in the forward direction are the effective. So the secondary wavelets are more effective in the forward direction. Forward direction is in the direction of propagation of light. The spherical wavefront which is traveling in the direction of propagation of light is nothing but the forward wavefront, and these are more effective. Forward wavefront are more effective than the backward wavefront. Wavefront traveling in the backward direction. Then the third point of this Huygens principle of propagation of light is that the new secondary wavefront is given by the tangent to all the secondary wavelets at that point. So here this in this slide I have shown one example of this spherical wavefront. Here S is the primary source of light, and that primary source of light is nothing but again the point source of light. This S is called the primary source of light, and every point on the wavefront will act as a secondary source of light, and these secondary sources of light will emit the light waves in all possible directions. Suppose we consider the point which is present here. दिखाई दे रहा है मेरा एरो दिखाई दे रहा है कर्सर का. तो यहाँ पे सपोज देयर इज this point will be considered. So this point will act as a secondary source of light, and this secondary source of light will emit the light waves in all possible directions. But the secondary wavelets which are traveling in the direction of propagation of light are more effective, whereas the secondary wavelets which are traveling in the opposite direction of the direction of propagation of light will be the less effective. Okay. So this is about the Huygens principle of propagation of light. This Huygens principle you have also studied in the class 12th class. Okay. So we will go forward. Then we have to study here the principle of superposition of wave. Principle of superposition of wave. Principle of overlapping of wave. Okay. Superposition principle or overlapping of wave. Now, the principle of superposition of wave states that when two or more waves simultaneously reach at a point in the medium, then the resultant displacement at that point is the algebraic or vector sum of the individual displacement produced by the two waves. So this is the principle of superposition of wave. So what is the meaning of that? Suppose we will consider the two waves traveling through the medium and arrive at a point in the medium. Then resultant displacement at that point is given by the algebraic sum of the individual displacement produced by the two waves. Okay. So we will take the example. If at any point y1 and y2 be the displacement of the two waves, then the resultant displacement according to the principle of superposition of wave is that the resultant displacement at that point is y is equal to y1 plus y2. What is y? Y is the resultant displacement of the wave and y1 and y2 are the two individual waves, displacement of the two individual waves, okay, and they are added vectorially. So for this purpose, consider the two waves of same frequency traveling in the same direction. So we will consider here the two waves, two sinusoidal waves, that we know the graphical representation of sinusoidal waves. Let A1 and A2 be the amplitudes of the two waves. What are A1 and A2? A1 and A2 are the amplitudes of the two waves. Amplitude of first wave is the A1, amplitude of the second wave is the A2. And phi be the phase angle between them. Phi be the phase angle between the phase difference between the two waves when they reach at a point. Let us assume that this phase difference does not change with the time and waves are coherent. Then the displacement of the two waves are given by, mathematically we can write the expression for the displacement of the two waves as y1 is equal to a1 into sine of omega t and y2 is equal to a2. Here it should be the a2 into sine of omega t plus phi. Here a1 is the amplitude of the first wave and here the a2 should be the amplitude of the second wave. Omega is the frequency of the both wave which is same, and there is a phase difference between the two waves, and that phase difference is of the I. By the principle of superposition, the resultant displacement at that point where the two waves meet each other is given by y is equal to y1 plus y2 according to the principle of superposition. So we will substitute the value of y1 and we will substitute the value of y2. So value of y1 is the a1 sine of omega t plus value of y2 is the a2 sine of omega t plus phi. It is equal to a1 sine of omega t plus a2 into, here we will use the trigonometric formula, that a2 into sine of omega t into cos of phi plus cos of omega t into sine of phi. We will expand this sine of omega t plus phi. So that expansion will be as shown in the bracket. Now it is equal to y is equal to sine of omega t here into a1 plus a2 cos of phi plus a2 into cos of omega t sine of phi. Now this is the equation number 2. Now we will substitute for a1 plus a2 into cos of phi is equal to a cos of theta and a2 sine of phi. a2 sine of phi, it is equal to capital A into sine of theta. What is A here? Capital A. Capital A is the amplitude of this wave. So from the equation 2, we can write as y is equal to A into sine of omega t cos of theta plus A into cos of omega t into sine of theta. So here A is common in both terms and therefore we will take it out of this bracket. So y is equal to A into sine of omega t, and here remaining term is nothing but the expansion of sine of omega t plus theta, where A is the resultant amplitude and theta is the phase angle between the two waves. Now here we will obtain the value of A and we will obtain the value of the phase angle theta. So to find out the value of A, squaring and adding the A cos of theta and A sin of theta, we get A square cos square theta plus A square sin square theta, it is equal to, and what is the A? A is nothing but the A1 plus A2 into cos of phi whole square plus a2 into sine of phi whole square. So from this we get a square is equal to, in bracket, a1 plus a2 into cos of phi square plus a2 into sine of phi whole square. And because here cos square theta plus sine square theta, it is equal to 1. Okay. So from this we will take the square root of this entire above equation. Then we get a is equal to under root of a1 plus a2 into cos of phi whole square plus a2 into sine of phi whole square. And therefore we get a is equal to under root of a1 square plus a2 square plus 2 times a1 a2 cos of phi. This is the equation number 2. So this equation number 2 gives the resultant amplitude of the two waves when these two waves overlap one another at a point in the medium. So since the intensity of the wave is directly proportional to the square of its amplitude, intensity of the wave, intensity of light wave is डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू द स्क्वायर ऑफ दिस एम्पलीट्यूड. ये जो एम्पलीट्यूड अपन ने निकाला है इसका स्क्वायर यदि लेते हैं तो दैट विल बी नथिंग बट द इंटेंसिटी ऑफ द वेव, एंड देयरफॉर वी कैन राइट एज I is the intensity of wave, and that is directly proportional to the a square, and a square is nothing but here I is proportional to a1 square plus a2 square plus 2 times a1 a2 into cos of phi. So this is the expression for the intensity of resultant amplitude or intensity of the wave. So thus the resultant amplitude, if we consider the resultant amplitude, then this will be the equation, useful equation. If we consider the intensity, then this will be the expression. Okay, so thus the resultant amplitude or intensity at any point depends upon the phase difference phi at that point between these two superposing waves. So resultant amplitude or resultant intensity at a point when the two waves arrive at a point or meet each other at a point in the medium depends upon the phase difference phi between the two waves. Okay, so this equation shows that the resultant intensity or amplitude depends upon the phase difference phi between the two waves. Okay, and this is nothing but the principle of superposition of wave. So with the help of this principle of superposition of wave, we can obtain mathematically the resultant amplitude or resultant intensity of the two waves which are overlapping one another, which are superposing each other. Then we will see the definition of interference of light. Okay. So we have seen previously the principle of superposition of waves. So what will be there in the principle of superposition of waves? Two or more waves of same frequency and nearly same amplitude traveling simultaneously in the same medium, then the intensity of light is different at the different points of the medium. At some points, intensity of light is maximum. At some points of the medium, intensity of light is maximum, while at some other points, the intensity of light is minimum. So thus, the phenomenon of formation of maximum intensity at some point and minimum intensity at some other points of the medium by the two identical waves of same frequency and same amplitude traveling simultaneously in the same direction is called the interference of light. So this is nothing but the definition of interference of light. What is the interference of light? This is the phenomenon of formation of maximum intensity at some point of the medium and minimum intensity at some other points of the medium by the two identical waves of same frequency and same amplitude traveling simultaneously in the same medium in the same direction. Okay. Now we will see this interference of light by graphical method. Now here in this slide I have shown the two waves. So this is the first wave and this is the second wave. Both waves are exactly similar to one another. Okay. And here this is the amplitude. This middle point and this peak point, whatever be the distance is there, that is nothing but amplitude of the wave. Suppose the amplitude of the first wave is the A and amplitude of the second wave is also the A. Both amplitudes are the same. Then amplitude of the resultant wave is nothing but the 2 times A. Resultant wave will be the bigger wave. But when we get the bigger wave, when the two waves are like this, exactly similar to one another, then we get a bigger wave. We get a bigger wave. And this is nothing but one type of interference of light. Here you can see frequency of both these waves. Here the amplitude of the wave is the same. Amplitude of the both wave is same. And the frequency of both wave is same. Then we get the bigger wave, which is the resultant wave. Now we will consider the another situation. Suppose this is the one wave and another wave is like this. Another wave is opposite to the first one. Then what will happen? According to the principle of superposition of wave, here the amplitude of the first wave is the positive and here the amplitude of the second wave is the negative. Suppose the amplitude of this, here again these two waves are having the same amplitude and these two waves are having the same frequency, but they are exactly opposite to one another. Then in this case what will happen? According to the principle of superposition of wave, this positive amplitude and this negative amplitude will cancel each other. Here again the negative amplitude and this positive amplitude cancel each other and we get the no wave. We get no wave, and this is the another type of interference. So this first one type of interference is known as the constructive interference, and this second type of interference we call it as a destructive interference. When the two waves are like this, exactly similar to one another, then these two waves are called in phase. ऐसे जो waves रहेंगी दोनों exactly similar waves, ऐसे waves को क्या कहा जाता है? These two waves are in phase. And here if such type of waves are there, they are having the same amplitude, they are having the same frequency, but they are opposite to one another, then in that case these two waves are called out of phase, or these two waves are not in phase. And in this case we get the destructive type of interference. Here we get the constructive type of interference. Means in the constructive interference we get the bigger wave having the amplitude which is the sum of the amplitudes of the individual wave, and when the two waves are out of phase, then in that case we get the destructive type of interference, and in this case we get the no wave. Okay. So this is about the graphical representation of the interference of light, and with the help of this graph you can easily understand the interference of light. Here the amplitude is large. When the two waves interfere with each other, then here the amplitude will be the large. When the amplitude will be the large, when the two waves are in phase, then the amplitude will be the large. And we have seen previously that the intensity of light depends upon the square of the amplitude. So square of this amplitude will be again large, and therefore that means nothing but the intensity. So in the case of the constructive interference, we get the maximum intensity of light is there, and in case of the destructive interference, here there is no amplitude of the resultant wave, and therefore there will be the minimum intensity of light is there. Or destructive interference is there when the two waves are out of phase, or when the two waves are not in phase. Thus, the interference of light at the points where the intensity of light is the maximum is called constructive interference of light. Which type of interference? Constructive interference. When we get the constructive interference, the interference at the point where intensity of light is maximum, or where the amplitude of the wave is maximum, then at that time we get the constructive interference of light. And interference at the point where the intensity of light is minimum is called the destructive interference of light. And in case of the destructive interference of light, the amplitude is the minimum. In constructive interference, amplitude will be the maximum, and in the destructive interference, amplitude or intensity will be the minimum. Then at the point of constructive interference, the amplitude of the wave is maximum, while at the point of destructive interference, the amplitude of light wave is minimum. Thus, in the interference pattern, there are alternate bright and dark fringes or bands are observed. So, in the any interference pattern, what will be there? There is a bright fringe or bright band is there. Then next to that, there is a dark band. Then bright band, then dark band, and so on. So they are alternately arranged. Dark band and bright band are alternately arranged. Dark fringe or bright fringe are alternately arranged. So this is about the interference of light. Now there are two types of interference of light that we have seen. So there are the two types of interference. One is the constructive interference of light, and another is the destructive interference of light. So this definition of constructive interference of light and destructive interference of light is important from the examination point of view. Okay. So many times the question has been asked on this, or MCQ will also be asked on this different types of the interference of light. So first we see the constructive interference of light. I have shown here the graphical representation of the constructive interference. So there are the two waves having same amplitude and same frequency traveling in the medium and arrive at a point. Then the resultant amplitude at that point where the two waves meet each other is nothing but the resultant wave, and this resultant wave, amplitude of the resultant wave is the double, or amplitude of the resultant wave is the sum of the amplitude of the individual wave. So here we can define with the help of this as the constructive interference of light. So when the two light waves of same frequency and nearly same amplitudes traveling through a medium arrive simultaneously at a point, then they interfere with each other. They overlap one another. If the two light waves are in phase, this is the very important point. When the two light waves are in phase, then there is a constructive interference of light. So, what is the condition for the constructive interference of light? For the constructive interference of light, the condition is that two light waves are in phase. Means the two light waves must be exactly similar to one another. Then we get the constructive interference of light. जैसे ये वेव है वैसे ही दूसरी वेव है, तभी अपने को कंस्ट्रक्टिव इंटरफेरेंस ऑफ लाइट मिलता है. Thus, the condition for the constructive interference of light or maximum intensity, constructive interference means maximum intensity or maximum amplitude, is that what is the condition for the constructive interference or maximum intensity or maximum amplitude, is that the two light waves must be in phase. Two light waves must be in phase, or the phase difference between the two light waves must be 0, 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi and so on up to 2n pi. So how this? So suppose for that purpose, this is the clear. Here if we consider here the one wave, this is the one wave. What is the point here? What is the phase difference here? 0. Here we get the pi by 2, here we get the pi, and here we get the 3 pi by 2, and here we get the 2 pi. That is the phase angle. Okay. So if we consider the any point of these two waves, suppose we will consider the point of maximum amplitude. So this is the point of maximum amplitude, and this is the point of maximum amplitude. What is the phase angle at this point? Phase angle is the pi by 2. Here the phase angle is the pi by 2. If we take the difference between these two phase angle, then what will be the pi by 2 minus pi by 2? We get the 0. What is the phase difference between these two waves? Is the 0. Now we will consider the another point. We will consider the starting point. We will consider this particular point. Suppose which point? This is the trough. This is the trough, and this is the trough of the second wave. What will be the phase angle at this point? What will be the phase angle at this trough? 3 pi by 2. Here phase angle is 3 pi by 2. Here phase angle is the 3 pi by 2. And if we take the difference between the these two waves, then we get the, it will be the 0. Phase difference will be the 0. So the condition for the constructive interference of light is that the phase difference between the two waves must be 0. Now we will consider the one wave which is like this. We will consider the another wave, and that wave is like this. ये ऐसे, जैसे ये ऊपर वाली वेव है वैसे ही, लेकिन दूसरी जो वेव स्टार्ट होने वाली है वो यहाँ से स्टार्ट हो जाएगी और इस टाइप की वेव मिलेगी. तो ये पहली वेव और ये दूसरी वेव, दोनों में डिफरेंस कितना रहेगा? दोनों में डिफरेंस रहेगा 2 पाई का. दोनों में डिफरेंस रहेगा 2 पाई का. ऐसे ही समझो अपन ने और आगे वाली वेव को कंसीडर किया तो दोनों में डिफरेंस रहेगा 6 पाई का एंड सो ऑन. So phase difference between the two waves must be 0, 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi and so on. Then in that case, we get a constructive interference. Since the phase difference of twice pi corresponds to the path difference of lambda. Phase difference for twice pi. So for that purpose, I will give the one wave. ये वेव मैं यहाँ पे आपको बता रहा हूँ. तो यहाँ पे फेज एंगल कितना है? 0. यहाँ पे फेज एंगल कितना रहेगा? ट्वाइस पाई. तो कभी भी फेज एंगल जो रहेगा टू वेव्स में 0 रहेगा, ट्वाइस पाई रहेगा, 4 पाई रहेगा एंड सो ऑन. ऐसा ही रहेगा. सो द फेज डिफरेंस, ये जो पूरा यहाँ से यहाँ तक का जो डिस्टेंस रहता है उसको क्या कहा जाता है? वेवलेंथ. इसको क्या कहा जाता है? वेवलेंथ लैम्बडा. तो वेवलेंथ लैम्बडा इसको कहा जाएगा. सो दिस फेज डिफरेंस ऑफ ट्वाइस पाई corresponds to the path difference of lambda, where lambda is the wavelength of light. And therefore, the condition for the constructive interference of light is that the path difference between the two waves must be 0, lambda, 2 lambda, 3 lambda, and so on n lambda, where n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Phase difference 2 pi, then its equivalent is the path difference of lambda. फेज डिफरेंस और पाथ डिफरेंस ये आपको समझ में आना चाहिए. फेज डिफरेंस मीन्स डिफरेंस बिटवीन द एज एंगल एंड पाथ डिफरेंस मीन्स जो भी डिस्टेंस रहेगा वेव ट्रेवल करने वाला है उसमें का डिफरेंस, पाथ में का डिफरेंस. सो the phase difference of twice pi corresponds to the path difference of lambda. Therefore, the same condition which we have seen for the constructive interference of light, that condition we can write in a somewhat different manner. पहले अपन ने कैसे लिया था? Phase difference between the two waves, that will be equal to 0, twice pi, 4 pi, and so on. We have defined the phase difference in terms of twice pi. Now, in terms of condition for the constructive interference, in terms of path difference between the two waves must be 0, 2 pi phase angle रहेगा तो path आएगा lambda, 4 pi phase difference रहेगा तो wavelength कितना रहेगा 2 times lambda, wavelength of light, and so on. So thus the path difference between the two waves must be even multiple of lambda by 2. Even multiple of lambda by 2. The condition for the constructive interference of light between the two waves is that the path difference between the two waves must be even multiple of lambda by 2. Even number multiplied by lambda by 2 होना चाहिए. यहाँ पे देखो, अब इसके जगह पे मैं क्या लेता हूँ, यहाँ पे लास्ट जो वर्ड लेता हूँ ट्वाइस n into lambda by 2. So this twice and this twice in the numerator and twice in the denominator get cancelled and we get the n lambda. So here you can see, here last condition is that n lambda. Here the path difference between the two waves must be even multiple of lambda by 2. Even multiple means twice n. Twice has generate the even number multiplied by lambda by 2. This 2 and this 2 get cancelled. We get the condition for the constructive interference is that the path difference between the two waves is the n lambda. That is the last condition, where n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So this is about the constructive interference of light. Similarly, we have to define, we have to see the conditions of the destructive interference of light. So this is the graphical representation of destructive interference of light. Again here these two waves are having the same amplitude. एम्पलीट्यूड जो रहेगा दोनों वेव्स का वो सेम रहेगा. फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ बोथ वेव इज द सेम, बट ओनली डिफरेंस इज दैट दिस इज द वेव and exactly opposite to this above wave is the another wave. Then what will happen? Here the amplitude of the first wave is the A and amplitude of the second wave is the minus A. So we get a resultant of these two waves is the 0 or null or cancel each other. And therefore, when two or more light waves of same frequency and nearly same amplitude traveling through a medium arrive at a point simultaneously at a point, then they interfere with each other. There will be the overlapping of these two waves. There will be the interference of these two waves. There will be the superposition of these two waves. Then if the if the two waves are out of phase, then there is a destructive interference of light. So what is the condition for the destructive interference of light? Two light waves are out of phase. And thus the condition for the destructive interference of light or minimum intensity of light or minimum amplitude of light is that two light waves must be out of phase, or phase difference between the two waves must be pi, 3 pi, 5 pi and so on, 2n plus 1 into pi, where n is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on. Since the phase difference of pi correspond to the path difference of lambda by 2. Phase difference of pi corresponds to the path difference of lambda by 2. So here there should be the lambda by 2. Phase difference of lambda by 2. Then there, therefore, the condition for the destructive interference of light is that the path difference between the two waves must be odd number multiplied by lambda by 2. Odd multiple of lambda by 2. Here n is nothing but 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. If n is equal to 1, then 1 by lambda by 2. N is equal to 3. Here general formula is a 2n plus 1. N is equal to 0, then we get 1 into lambda by 2. N is equal to 1, then we get 3 into lambda by 2 and so on. So thus the path difference between the two waves must be odd multiple of lambda by 2. That is 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2. This bracket 2n plus 1 will generate the odd number, and odd number is multiplied by lambda by 2. That is the condition for the destructive interference of light. Or sometimes we may write this like this also, 2n minus 1. But whenever we are writing like this, 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2, this is again the odd number generator. Bracket is nothing but odd number generator. But here condition is that n should be the value of, यहाँ पे n का जो वैल्यू स्टार्ट होता है n इज इक्वल टू 0, 1, 2, 3 एंड सो ऑन. बट यदि आप ये ऐसा फार्मूला लेते हैं ट्वाइस n माइनस 1 इंटू लैम्डा बाई 2, तो इसमें n का वैल्यू 1 से स्टार्ट होता है. n इज इक्वल टू 1, 2, 3 एंड सो ऑन. ओके, so this is about the destructive interference of light. Okay, so this is about my today's presentation.